It was a bright morning in the small town of Maple Street. Birds were singing softly, and the sky looked calm and blue. In a simple little house near the park lived a young woman named Emma Brown. She was 25 years old, kind, and hardworking. But Emma was also poor. Her life was not easy. Every day, she woke up before sunrise. She cooked breakfast, cleaned her small room, and went to work at a clothing store in the city. Her salary was small, and after paying rent and bills, she had almost nothing left. Still, she dreamed of a better life, a life with comfort, safety, and maybe a little happiness. Emma had seen many rich people come to the store. They wore beautiful clothes, shiny watches, and expensive perfumes. She often wondered how it felt to live like them, to buy anything, to travel anywhere, and to never worry about money. One afternoon, while Emma was folding shirts, a tall man entered the store. His name was Mr. Daniel White. He was around 40, handsome, and clearly rich. He owned a big company that sold luxury cars. Everyone in town knew him. Daniel often came to the store to buy gifts for his business clients. But that day, something was different. His eyes noticed Emma. She looked simple but graceful, polite but confident. And although she was just a shop assistant, something about her calm smile stayed in his mind. From that day, Daniel started visiting the store more often. He asked about new arrivals, but what he really wanted was to see Emma. Slowly, he began to show interest in her life, where she lived, what she liked, and how she spent her days. Emma was surprised. No rich man had ever talked to her kindly before. Daniel was gentle and respectful. Soon, he asked her to go out for coffee. At first, Emma said no. She knew he was rich and older, and she didn't want to look foolish. But her best friend, Mia, told her that maybe life was giving her a chance to escape her struggles. Emma thought deeply that night. She remembered her small room, her unpaid bills, and her tired feet after long hours at work. She wanted a different life, a life without pain and worry. And so, she decided to meet him. Days turned into weeks. Daniel took Emma to restaurants she had never seen before. He gave her gifts, flowers, and even paid her rent secretly. He told her that he liked her honesty and simplicity. And one evening, he proposed to her. Emma felt her heart beating fast. She didn't love him, not really. But she also didn't want to go back to her poor life. Her mother once told her that love cannot buy food or security. Maybe money could bring happiness. So, she said yes. Soon, Emma and Daniel got married in a small ceremony. There were flowers, music, and smiling faces. Everyone congratulated her, calling her lucky. She wore a white gown and a golden necklace Daniel had gifted her. For a while, everything seemed perfect. Emma moved into Daniel's big house, a house with marble floors, shining lights, and a garden larger than her old apartment. She had servants, cars, and a wardrobe full of clothes. At first, she enjoyed every bit of it. She traveled, ate in expensive restaurants, and bought things she never needed. She posted pictures online, and people admired her. They said she was living a dream, but soon, the dream began to fade. Daniel was always busy. He spent long hours at the office and returned late at night. He rarely smiled now. He talked about money, meetings, and business, never about feelings or love. Emma tried to talk to him, but he always looked distracted. The dinners became silent. The laughter disappeared. She started to feel lonely, trapped in a golden cage. Every morning, she sat near the window, watching couples walking hand in hand. They were not rich, but they looked happy. She began to miss her old life, her small house, her friendly neighbors, and her laughter with Mia after work. Money had given her comfort, but it had taken away her peace. One evening, Daniel returned home looking tired. He didn't notice the sadness in her eyes. He simply said he was traveling for business. The next morning, Emma sat alone in the living room, surrounded by silence and luxury. She looked around, at the golden lamps, the designer sofa, the shiny walls, and felt nothing. In that moment, she realized something important. She had married for money, but she had lost herself. The next day, she visited her old neighborhood. The streets were noisy, the buildings were small, but the air felt real. She saw Mia standing near a fruit shop and ran to hug her. Mia was surprised but happy to see her friend again. Emma told her how empty her life had become. Mia listened carefully and smiled softly. She said that sometimes, people chase things that shine but forget what truly matters. Emma understood. Days passed. Daniel kept traveling for work, and Emma began to change. She started doing charity work. She visited orphanages, taught poor children, and helped women who had no money to study. For the first time in months, she felt alive again. When Daniel returned home, he noticed her change. She was happier, calmer, and her eyes had light again. He didn't understand why, but he liked seeing her smile. Slowly, Emma began to find a balance. She didn't leave Daniel, she had made her choice, and she wanted to make peace with it. But she stopped depending on his money for happiness. She used her time and wealth to help others. She started a small charity that supported young girls in her town. Soon, people began to respect her, not for being the wife of a rich man, but for her kindness and work. Years went by. Emma became known as the heart of Maple Street. She continued to live in the big house, but her soul belonged to the world outside it. Daniel, too, started to see life differently. Watching Emma's dedication touched him. He realized that money could buy luxury but not meaning. One morning, Daniel joined Emma in her charity event. He spoke to the children, gave donations, and smiled genuinely, something he hadn't done in years. That night, for the first time, they had a real conversation. They spoke not about money or business, but about dreams and peace. Their marriage slowly transformed. It was no longer about wealth or comfort. It became about understanding, respect, and kindness. Emma finally found what she had been searching for, not through money, but through purpose. Time passed quickly. One evening, as the sun set over the hills, Emma sat on the balcony, holding a cup of tea. The sky turned orange and gold. She thought about her journey, from a poor shop assistant to a rich woman, and then to a person who learned the true meaning of life. She realized that happiness doesn't come from what we have, but from what we give. Money had opened doors for her, but it was love, not romantic love, but human love, that gave her peace. Emma smiled gently. She no longer felt regret. Yes, she had married for money, but life had taught her a greater lesson, one that she could now share with others. Money can buy comfort, but it can never buy peace, kindness, or love. And in learning that, she found her true wealth. Moral of the story: sometimes we chase what shines, thinking it will make us happy. But real happiness is simple. It comes from love, kindness, and a heart full of purpose.